What if I told you the ancient Egyptians may have mastered energy technology long before modern civilization even knew what electricity was? I know it sounds wild, but there's more science behind it than you might think. Let's take a closer look at one of Egypt's most enigmatic sites, the Osirion at Abydos, and how it connects to the idea that the pyramids were once power plants. The Osirion is located at Abydos, one of the most important religious centers in ancient Egypt. But unlike the temples of Seti I or other monuments that are nearby, the Osirion sits deep underground, below the water table. This site has always puzzled archaeologists and engineers alike, because its construction is vastly different from anything around it. Today, the tunnels of the Osirion are constantly submerged in water, which immediately raises the question, was this water part of the structure's design? Could it have been more than just a location for religious rituals? Or could it have served as a mechanism to generate energy? Let's break it down. First, we'll dig into the granite. The Osirion was built using massive red granite blocks, some weighing between 60 to 100 tons each. Now, red granite isn't just a tough, durable stone. It's rich in quartz, which is a piezoelectric material. That's a fancy way of saying that when quartz is put under mechanical stress, like pressure from flowing water, it can generate a small electric charge. The piezoelectric effect is actually a well-documented scientific principle used today in everything from ultrasound machines to quartz watches. So why does this matter? Well, the granite in the Osirion, if subjected to pressure from flowing water, could theoretically produce electricity. The flow of water through the tunnels could create stress in the quartz-rich granite, triggering the piezoelectric effect and generating energy. You might be thinking, okay, but why would ancient Egyptians care about producing energy? Well, that's where things get interesting. Some researchers suggest that this ability to generate energy wasn't just a happy accident, but part of the Osirion's design. After all, the engineering precision used to construct the Osirion and other sites like it was extraordinary. The granite blocks were not just thrown together. They were fitted with almost laser-like precision, leading some to believe the Egyptians had a far greater understanding of materials and forces than we give them credit for. But what about the water? Why is the Osirion below the water table in a place where water is constantly present? One theory is that the flowing water wasn't just a side effect of the Osirion's location, but an essential component in generating energy. Water itself can act as a conductor for electricity. And when you combine it with materials that have piezoelectric properties like granite, you create the potential for a simple but effective electromechanical system. Now, let's talk about the water itself. The water found in the Osirion isn't just your run-of-the-mill groundwater. Studies have shown that the water in these tunnels has a unique chemical composition, differing from other water sources in the region. Specifically, it contains a higher concentration of minerals, such as sodium chloride and possibly magnesium, minerals that are known to enhance electrolytic properties. This has led to speculation that the water wasn't just present by coincidence, but was intentionally used for its conductive and chemical properties. Some researchers believe these unique minerals allowed the water to act more like a liquid conductor, increasing its ability to carry an electric charge. In modern terms, we know that mineral-rich water, especially water with a higher salt content, is much better at conducting electricity than pure water. This would have made the Osirion's water a crucial part of the system, interacting with the quartz-rich granite to potentially amplify the piezoelectric effect. If the ancient Egyptians were aware of these properties and chose this location specifically for the water's composition, it points to an advanced understanding of the natural forces around them. It's possible they recognized that this particular water, combined with the structure's granite blocks, was more effective at generating or storing energy compared to other nearby sources. In modern science, we know that different types of water, especially those rich in certain salts and minerals, are better at conducting electricity. Could the ancient Egyptians have tapped into this knowledge, understanding that not all water is the same when it comes to energy generation? If they selected this specific location for the Osirion because of the water's properties, it suggests a highly sophisticated understanding of their environment. Let's take a closer look at hydroelectricity for a second, to break down how this works. In a modern hydroelectric dam, water flows through turbines, turning mechanical energy into electrical energy. It does this by channeling water from a reservoir through large pipes, known as penstocks, which direct the flow towards turbines. As the water pushes against the turbine blades, it causes them to spin, converting the kinetic energy of moving water into mechanical energy. This spinning motion drives a generator, where electromagnetic induction transforms the mechanical energy into electricity. The generated electricity is then transmitted through power lines to supply homes, industries, and businesses. While the Egyptians obviously didn't have turbines, the principle of converting natural forces into usable energy is the same. With the Osirion, the constant pressure from the water flow could have activated the piezoelectric properties of the granite, leading to the generation of an electric charge. The Osirion may have acted like a giant battery, storing and distributing energy throughout the area. Now here's where it gets even more fascinating: the design of the Osirion's main chamber. Some researchers have noticed that the chamber's layout, its grid-like precision, the placement of massive granite blocks, bears a resemblance to modern microchip design. I know this sounds far-fetched, but let's break it down. Microchips are designed to control and manage the flow of electrical current. They do this through precisely organized pathways called circuits that direct energy in specific ways. When you look at the layout of the Osirion's main chamber, with its rectangular compartments and precise alignment, you can't help but see the parallels in both designs. Some researchers theorize that the chamber was designed to channel energy, much like how microchips channel electrical current today. Now, I'm not saying the Egyptians were making computers, but I'm not saying they weren't. What this suggests, though, is that the Osirion could have been designed to manage and control the energy generated by the piezoelectric effect. If we imagine the Osirion as part of a larger energy grid, this chamber may have acted as a control center for that energy flow. This brings us to the Giza Power Plant theory, a theory first proposed by engineer Christopher Dunn. According to Dunn, the Great Pyramid at Giza was not just a tomb, but an advanced machine designed to generate and harness energy. The pyramid's internal structure, particularly the king's chamber, built from red granite, supports this theory. Dunn argues that the pyramid, with its combination of granite chambers and limestone casing, could have acted like a giant capacitor, collecting and storing energy from natural sources, like seismic activity or even water. The key component in Dunn's theory is that the pyramid's granite blocks, similar to those in the Osirion, could generate electricity via piezoelectricity. The king's chamber was the heart of the system, acting like the core of a modern power plant. Dunn suggests that energy from the Earth's natural forces, like vibrations or water flow, was harnessed by the pyramid and distributed to the surrounding area. Here's where the connection to the Osirion becomes even more intriguing. If the Great Pyramid was designed to generate energy, then structures like the Osirion may have been part of a larger network, supporting this ancient energy grid. Think of the Osirion as a substation in this system, collecting and controlling the energy generated at sites like the pyramid. The combination of granite, water, and the chamber's grid-like layout suggests that the Osirion could have played a role in distributing that energy throughout the region. But let's take a step back for a moment. Why does this theory have any weight? Well, it's grounded in real science. The piezoelectric effect is a proven phenomenon, and we know that ancient civilizations often had a greater understanding of materials and natural forces than we give them credit for. In modern terms, the materials used, the precision of construction, and the location of the Osirion all point to a structure that was engineered with a specific purpose, one that may have involved generating and controlling energy. So, the next time you think of ancient Egypt, forget the simple picture of pyramids and tombs. What we're talking about here is an advanced civilization capable of understanding and manipulating natural forces in ways we're still trying to figure out. Their accomplishments were far beyond what many give them credit for. Don't you think it's time to stop underestimating the intelligence of the ancient Egyptians? Because I sure do. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into ancient engineering theories, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more discoveries. We're also live on Patreon now, where you can support the channel and get access to exclusive content. Check us out at patreon.com/ancientlorelaboratory. And remember, stay historical, stay iconic, and I'll see you in the archives.